Hey, what's up? How's it going, guys? My name is Alex, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 things that are annoying in the fingerboard community. Some of these annoyances have been going on since like the very early stages of fingerboarding to like even now. A lot of these are pretty common occurrences that happen to everybody, whether you're barely starting or if you're advanced professional or even if you're a company owner. You hear this all the time. Some of these could easily be avoided if we're all aware of it, so that's what the purpose of this video is. Hopefully it could shed some light to people who are doing this stuff. Whether if you're guilty of it or not, let's just do a group effort to like eliminate these annoyances as much as possible. Alright, so let's get right to it. Alright, so annoying thing number 1. Let's just get this one out of the way. If you're a fingerboarder who rolls around with this and not this, we all know what this is. So the number 1 annoying thing that us fingerboarders always get is we always get asked, hey, is that a tech deck? No, it's not a tech deck. Why? Because look at this compared to this. If you've never seen something as wide as this before, of course you're gonna be curious. So that's why they always ask, hey, is that a tech deck? Because like usually they see something as skinny as this and like they never ask a person who is using a tech deck, hey, is that a tech deck? We always get that question all the time, whether if you're young, whether if you're older, whether if you're a teenager, young adult, whatever. One thing I do to avoid questions like those, because they really do annoy me, I just don't take my setup out in public because 1, I don't like that kind of attention on me. 2, there's a risk of losing your setup. I'll talk about that in a bit. And 3, I just like my privacy. I don't like curious eyeballs. I kind of don't like that attention. It just depends on my mood, really. If I don't care, I'll take it. If I do care or whatever, I just won't. I'll leave it at home. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to avoid that question, just don't take it out in like general public areas. Be at anywhere that doesn't really have that much people in it. If you don't want to hear that question, don't bring that kind of attention to yourself. Simple as that. Alright, moving on. Alright, so annoying thing number 2 is losing or misplacing your setups. When you do misplace it, it's very annoying to find because it's such a small thing. It's easy to lose. It could literally fall off your desk or under your bed or something and you just won't find it. Or if you have pets, you know, they're more than likely to get it. I already had 2 setups get chewed up because I had it wheels up on the tabletop and then just rolled off because the bearings are like brand new. It rolled off the desk and then boom, my dog chewed it up and I came home with like no tail and no nose. These take time and effort to make and it's not cheap, you know. I don't mind losing a tech deck, to be honest, but losing something like this is not the deal. If you're that type of person that likes taking their setup anywhere they go, you know, out with family or with friends, you know, outside your house, definitely look into getting something like this maybe. Fingerboard keychain holder. It attaches and detaches real easy, real quick. My homeboy PD gave this to me a long time ago. Thank you, PD. I do appreciate this. But yeah, I mean, the purpose of this is real easy. So there's a little hole here. Look at that. That's where your fingerboard truck goes. This works with any millimeter trucks. You just really just gotta throw it in there. And boom, there it is. Your keys just look cool in general. I mean, look at that. Just dangling. I highly suggest getting one of these because I don't like putting my fingerboard setups in my pocket because I feel when I sit down it just puts pressure on the nose and tail, making the kicks a little bit lower. Another reason I don't want the bushings to get damaged. Who knows what's in your pockets? A lot of dust and, you know, lint could get in your wheels, which can be pretty annoying to clean out. And if you don't want that, there's other alternatives. Backpack like this. I always have these at events with me. Why? Because I either take tape, tools, another fingerboard setup, a secondary fingerboard setup if you have more than one. You know, if you have 2, they could easily fit in there. It fits better in here rather than to have them in your pockets. You know, having something like this makes, you know, life 10 times more easier. So if you're gonna take more than one setup with you, just literally put it in this little bag, zip it, and boom, there you go. I'd rather invest in something that's worth like $5, $10, $20, $30 or something like that than losing $150, maybe what, $300 in total. So if you ask me, these are lifesavers. So There's nothing wrong with spending a few extra bucks to save your setups. Save them from getting damaged, getting stolen, getting lost. You'll always know where your setups are gonna be. Either here, either attached here, on your desk space. And yeah, just don't lose your setups. Alright, so moving on. Annoying thing number 3 is breaking in new tape. The most annoying thing about a brand new setup for me is breaking in the tape. And I hear this complaint with everybody because, like, if you slap on a new piece of tape on your fingerboard setup, it's just not the same feeling. It feels different. It's weird. I just like slapping one piece of tape on the deck from beginning to end. That's it. It takes a lot of hours, effort in order to make it worn down like this. There are a few ways to break it in a lot quicker. There is that tape method. You just put, you know, clear tape over your setup, peel it off, and then it feels a lot more broken in. Another way to break in your setup real quick is to water your fingertips a little bit. Not too much, don't overdo it. You are putting your fingers on wood, but only have the wet fingers on the grip tape. This is what wetsuits and scuba diving gear is made out of, so that's why it grips really good. So don't worry if you wet your fingertips on, you know, the brand new sheet of grip tape. It won't mess it up. But if you have grip tape, that's a whole nother story. I personally don't like using grip tape on my setups because you can't use it for like a long period of time. It just messes up your fingers. It gets slippery after a while. It's not the best feeling in the world. I have used it a few times in the past and it just never stuck onto me. There are some people that do that, which is totally fine. It's all preference in the end. But yeah, I'd rather use, you know, grip tape like this. Either do the tape trick or wet my fingertips a little bit. It just helps me break in the board a lot more easier, a lot more faster. And if you want to get back to doing your normal tricks as usual, then just do those simple 2 methods. It pretty much saves you a lot of time. And so yeah, move on. Annoying thing number 4. Okay, this really annoys me a lot. When you're switching out wheels, or when you're loosening or tightening your trucks, or you're replacing, you know, the bushings or anything like that, it's these small little screws, especially the lock nuts. Losing that little thing is a nightmare. You need to have so much patience working with those, tightening, loosening them, keeping an eye on where it's at. I like sessioning on a granite surface. When the little lock nut just falls out of my screw or anything like that, it bounces like crazy. It's every fingerboarder's worst nightmare is losing one of those. And if you don't have extras, you're stuck there, what, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour maybe, just looking for that damn little screw. You can't perform great without that screw. And if you can't just put any screw on there, you gotta use the original screws. If not, you're gonna mess up your axle, you're gonna mess up your kingpin. There's specific threading that goes on these trucks, you know. Losing those is a nightmare. So there's plenty of ways to avoid that. My personal method is putting it in a little, you know, like in a little tray. This is a little filter for my camera lens. What I do is, like, I have it next to my setup. I don't keep it far away from it. So if I'm on a table, surface top or something, I literally just do my unscrew and just put it in there. That's it. Boom. Do what I gotta do and then just put it back. That's simple. Don't ever touch it unless you're finished doing whatever it is you're doing. Have a small little something. It's worth doing that little extra effort or spending that little bit extra to not have that headache. Trust me, it happens to everybody, and no one likes losing them. Have a setup working on your setup. So that's pretty much the best way to avoid that headache, the scavenger hunt, you know. So yeah, just do something as simple like that. All right, so moving on to the last annoying thing in fingerboarding. All right, so the 5th and most annoying thing going around in the fingerboard community is this specific question: can I get sponsored? Okay, that is probably the most annoying thing around in the fingerboard community. You see it in comments, you see it in people's profile, can you sponsor me, or something like that, you know. We understand this fingerboard product is very expensive, but if you want to get sponsored, don't ask to be sponsored. If you're fingerboarding just to get sponsored, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It's not all about that. It's about having fun. If you love skateboarding, it's an alternative because, like, hey, let's say you had a long day, or there's some people that can't skate no more because, you know, they have an ankle injury, or they just can't afford to go back to the hospital or anything like that. It's just a fun alternative to do. If your main focus for fingerboarding is just to get sponsored, you're not gonna get sponsored. You get this a lot more if you're a company owner, whether if you're new, established, barely starting or anything like that. You see, can I get sponsored or anything like that. But if you're a company owner, you get a whole bunch of DMs asking if you get sponsored. I've been fingerboarding for X amount of years or something. Just stop that. You're not gonna get sponsored if you ask to get sponsored. Simple as that. If you do want to get sponsored, there's simple ways of doing it. I'll explain later in a bit. The reason why you don't get sponsored because you ask to get sponsored is, one, it's annoying. Two, you're wasting the person's time by them just reading that message. Three, let them come to you. If you put yourself out there like, hey, check me out or something like that, it doesn't really work that way. If a company owner comes across your page and goes to you directly, that's the right way to get sponsored. The wrong way to get sponsored is by asking that specific question. Why? Because it's freaking annoying. Let them DM you. Let them, hey, I really like your stuff. Can I send you a few boards? And then, you know, you use the boards, you support them, and like, hey, then you get the question you want to write for the company. I can only imagine what company owners' DMs look like. You know, there's probably 99 messages of people asking to get sponsored. I've been fingerboarding for X amount of years. Just don't ask that. Don't say that, because you just ruin your chances of getting sponsored. Sorry to break it to you. Don't be that person. Why? Because it's annoying. I'm not even a company owner, and I get DMs, you know, time to time like that. Support a company, back them up, do videos for them, say good things about their company while also giving constructive criticism, because a company owner could use that to like further expand their business, or just work on like a small issue that needs to be resolved or anything like that, or just, you know, give that constructive criticism. Not every company is perfect. Give feedback or something, do a little review, and you might catch a company's attention. If they like what they see, your creativity, your edits, your tricks that you do, you could probably get a DM from them. If you want to get sponsored, rule number one, don't ask to get sponsored. The trick is, let the companies come to you. You'll be more reputable. Your name is being established. You know, people are talking about you. So if a company comes to you asking, hey, can you try out our product, or let me send you a few decks, that's a good thing. You want to hear that stuff. I've gotten sponsored by just ordering stuff, supporting a company, and like they left a little note in my packaging. Hey, do you want to ride for the team? Honestly, that's the best feeling in the world. Rule number one, don't ask to get sponsored. Number two, support a company that you really like. Whether if it's new, whether if it's established, you're not only giving a good reputation for the company, but you're also throwing yourself out there to the people, letting them know like, yeah, I'm active. Hey, I do this kind of stuff. My videos look like this. My tricks come out like that, you know? It catches people's attention. It keeps them entertained on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, you know? And then number three, let them come to you. If they really like you, if they really support you, you guys want to help each other out. You support me and I support you. That's what a sponsorship is. So if you ask me, that's the right way to go about it. Rather than hearing those annoying words all in the same sentence, can I get sponsored? Can you sponsor me? It doesn't work that way. And there you go. That pretty much wraps everything up. 5 annoying things in fingerboarding. Number 1, getting asked, hey, is that a tech deck? Number 2, misplacing your setups. Number 3, breaking a new grip tape. Number 4, losing screws, losing bolts, losing the lock nuts. And number 5, the worst of the worst, getting asked, hey, can you sponsor me? Can I get sponsored? I hope you guys learned something from it. This is not to call out anybody specifically, or, you know, I think we've all been guilty of these actions. If everyone's aware of these, you know, small little annoyances, maybe it could stop, who knows. This video is just to, you know, shed some light on these certain issues that are going on or have been going on, or if you're having struggles avoiding these annoying things, hopefully you learned a thing or two for this video, you know, just small little hacks, or, you know, stuff to avoid doing or anything like that. But yeah, for the most part, you know, just be you, continue being you. Don't be offended if you're guilty, have been guilty, or are guilty of this at the moment. Just be aware of your actions. Take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully you learned something, and yeah, hope to see you guys for the next video. Peace.